Why some people dislike you, even when you're kind. Opening. Imagine this: you've done nothing but treat someone with patience, kindness, and respect. You've never raised your voice, never taken advantage of them, never made them feel small. And yet, you start noticing subtle changes. Their messages become shorter. Their tone grows cooler. They stop smiling as much when they see you. Maybe you hear through the grapevine that they've been saying unkind things about you, and you can't figure out why. It's a baffling and, at times, deeply painful experience. You replay conversations in your mind, wondering if you said something wrong. You second-guess your tone, your words, even your smile. How could kindness possibly lead to resentment? The truth is, human relationships are far more layered than they appear. And kindness, though powerful, doesn't guarantee universal approval. There are invisible forces, deep psychological patterns, that shape how people perceive you, regardless of your intentions. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung understood this better than most. He taught that what we see in others is often a reflection of our own inner world, both the parts we love and the parts we'd rather ignore. Sometimes, the very qualities you're proud of, compassion, confidence, calmness, act like a mirror for someone else's insecurities, fears, or unhealed wounds. Today, we're going to explore 5 powerful reasons, drawn from Jung's insights, that explain why some people might start disliking you even when your heart is in the right place. These reasons go beyond simple personality clashes, they reveal what's happening beneath the surface. This isn't about changing who you are, shrinking yourself, or dimming your light. It's about understanding the dynamics at play so you can protect your peace, set healthy boundaries, and keep your self-respect intact. And I encourage you to stay until the very end. Because the 5th reason may completely change the way you view certain relationships in your life. Reason 1: projection of their own insecurities. One of the most common, and most invisible, reasons kindness can be met with dislike is projection. Jung described projection as an unconscious process where we assign our own unwanted traits, emotions, or fears onto someone else. It's like holding up a mirror, but instead of seeing their own reflection, a person sees you, and they blame you for what they dislike in themselves. Your calmness might remind them of their volatility. Your confidence might highlight their self-doubt. Your kindness might throw their impatience into sharp relief. They may never consciously think, "I'm jealous of their confidence," or "I wish I could be that patient." Instead, the discomfort is wordless. It's a gut-level unease. And over time, that unease turns into emotional distance, passive-aggressive remarks, or coldness. A simple story: imagine Sarah, who works in a fast-paced office. She handles stressful deadlines with a steady voice and clear head. Her coworker Mark, however, feels overwhelmed easily and has a short fuse. At first, Mark admires Sarah. But over time, he begins to avoid her. Her composure, instead of inspiring him, becomes a mirror reflecting his own lack of emotional control. Without realizing it, Mark starts attributing negative qualities to Sarah: she's arrogant. She thinks she's better than everyone. In reality, Sarah has done nothing but be herself. Why kindness makes projection worse: when you respond to coolness with warmth, the contrast becomes even sharper for the other person. It's harder for them to hide from their own insecurities when your behavior continually reminds them of the gap between who they are and who they want to be. How to respond? Recognize projection for what it is: it's about them, not you. Avoid over-explaining yourself. Keep your boundaries intact. Don't twist yourself into a version of you that fits their comfort zone. You cannot heal another person's insecurity by making yourself smaller. All you can do is remain steady in your own integrity. Reason 2: threat to their self-image. Jung believed that our self-image, the mental portrait we hold of ourselves, is one of the most fiercely protected aspects of our psyche. We all carry an internal narrative about who we are: I'm a good friend. I'm talented at my job. I'm someone people can rely on. When you enter someone's life and your qualities, successes, or way of living don't fit neatly into their mental story, it can feel threatening. And here's the important part, you don't have to say a single negative word for this to happen. Example, let's say your friend takes pride in being the funny one in the group. Then you arrive, naturally witty without trying, and people start laughing at your jokes. You didn't steal their role on purpose, but your presence subtly challenges the way they see themselves. Or maybe you've built a stable, healthy lifestyle while they're still struggling with self-discipline. Your achievements unintentionally force them to compare. And comparison, as they say, is the thief of joy, but it's also the seed of resentment. The tricky part, your kindness makes it harder for them to justify their resentment. If you were arrogant, they could dismiss you as a jerk. But your warmth leaves them with the uncomfortable truth that the problem lies within their own self-image. Signs this is happening. Lukewarm or dismissive responses to your good news. Subtle competition during conversations. Attempts to undermine or one-up you. How to handle it, you are not responsible for protecting someone's self-image. You cannot shrink to make someone else feel bigger. Keep being authentic, but take note of how their discomfort affects your connection. Sometimes, distance is the healthiest choice. Reason 3, misinterpretation of your intentions. Jung once said, "We see the world not as it is, but as we are." That means people interpret your actions through their own life experiences, wounds, and assumptions. If someone has been betrayed, manipulated, or used in the past, your kindness might not feel safe to them. They might suspect ulterior motives where none exist. For example, you offer to help them move, they wonder if you'll ask for a favor in return. You give a heartfelt compliment, they suspect sarcasm. You remember a small detail from a past conversation, they think you're keeping track for some hidden reason. If a person has lived through relationships where kindness was a tool for control, they may automatically guard themselves against it. The frustrating part, the more genuine you are, the more suspicious they might become, thinking, nobody's that nice without a reason. How to respond? Don't try to prove your sincerity, over-explaining can look like defensiveness. Simply remain consistent in your values. Trust is earned slowly, and in some cases, it may never be earned at all if their inner wounds remain unhealed. Reason 4, jealousy of your life or relationships. Few emotions are as quietly corrosive as jealousy. Jung described it as a shadow emotion, something people don't want to admit to themselves, so it slips out in disguised forms, sarcasm, minimization, backhanded compliments. It's not about you bragging. You might never flaunt your blessings. But your joy, a happy marriage, a loving family, a fulfilling career, can still act as a spotlight on what they feel they lack. A real-life type of scenario. Emma shares a photo from her anniversary dinner. Her friend comments, "Must be nice to have that kind of time, some of us are too busy working." On the surface, it sounds harmless, but underneath, it's a way of taking the shine off Emma's happiness. Jealousy often grows in silence. People might avoid celebrating with you, change the subject when you share good news, or offer faint praise laced with comparison. Why kindness doesn't solve it? If you were arrogant, they could justify their feelings. But kindness removes that excuse, which actually intensifies their inner conflict. Your job. Don't dim your joy to make someone else comfortable. The right people will cheer for you without reservation. The wrong ones will find fault no matter how humble you are. Reason 5, resistance to personal growth. Personal growth requires facing uncomfortable truths. Not everyone is ready for that. Jung taught that our shadow, the parts of ourselves we deny, resists exposure. When you grow, change, or evolve, your life becomes proof that transformation is possible. For someone who's avoiding that work, this is deeply unsettling. Example. You start prioritizing your health, they mock your rabbit food. You set boundaries, they accuse you of being selfish. You learn a new skill, they tell you it's a waste of time. It's easier for them to reject you than to ask themselves, why am I not doing more for my own life? Kindness paradox, encouraging them might make it worse. If they're not ready, your support feels like pressure. Lesson: you are not responsible for someone else's readiness to change. Protect your energy. Keep growing. Those who are meant to be in your life will adjust to your evolution, or step aside. Closing: protecting your peace. If you've ever felt confused about why kindness is met with coldness, I hope this has helped you see the deeper truth. People's reactions are more about their own inner battles than about you. You can't control how others feel. But you can control how you show up, with integrity, authenticity, and a refusal to dim your light. Some will embrace you. Others will misunderstand you. The key is to know when to extend your hand, and when to step back to protect your peace. Kindness is not about getting approval. It's about living in alignment with your values. And the people who truly see you will never ask you to be anything less than who you are.